Hey there, welcome to another edition of Vegas Bad Boys of Podcasting, and I'm back. DJ Impact is back here with Sin City Steve and Rob Bossoleri. It is so great to see you, gentlemen. We don't have Matt Michaels with us. Yes, thank you, no doubt.
I'm the only bald white guy you need. And I have a good internet connection.
Hello.
That part.
Now, see, you just fucked yourself. So now you're going to have an outage midway through the show.
It's not like Matt, where it takes a century for him to link.
Well played.
And you guys, you can see him every Tuesday at, okay.
Wise guys.
Wise guys. There you go.
And cut it early. It looks like I'm going to be at the Dirty at 12:30 in New this Friday.
All right.
New at 8 and Dirty at 12:30 at the South Point.
Cool. And we'll let you say that one more time once we end the show. So if you guys got it, hey, you'll get to hear it again. Anyway, welcome to Wrestling Talk. We're gonna get back to our format, and so that should be somewhat exciting. If you're familiar with that, we're gonna jump into that. If you're watching us live, please throw your comments in the chat box of YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch, and we'll try to get it in as we see fit. All right, so let's get right into it. We had a lot of good wrestling this week. Too sweet for the week. All right, Sis City, I don't know how you're gonna cram it in 2 minutes, but what you got?
All right, man. Well, we've got we have our Owen Hart tournament winners, and while one wasn't surprising in the least, the other one shouldn't have been surprising, but to me, it was. Bryan Danielson beat Hangman Page in a bloody way to kick off Dynamite. It was just two guys beating the absolute piss out of one another. It felt like a fight, and it was a fight. Bryan Danielson gets the win in 26 minutes. Yeah. Check that one out if you like slugfest wrestling. And then the show ended with Mariah May punching her ticket to Wembley, defeating Willow Nightingale, and then turning heel on Timeless Toni Storm, leaving her with a crimson mask and fully embracing the heel turn, literally, as she stabbed Tony in the face with the heel numerous times. Awesome visual to end the show. And
if I could jump in right quick on that, I watched all of it. I'm doing better with watching Dynamite, and now I'm beginning to pick up TNA. That was great. That was great how that ended. I tell you, I had told Rob earlier and a couple other people, I was like, I felt there was going to be a turn, but I thought it was really going to come from Tony. That's where so when she grabbed the shoes, and I was like, okay, here it comes, and then how, I got to tell you, Mariah May, however they did it great, because you still didn't see it even as you walked to the top, and it just turned around and bam. I got to give props to that. That was really good all the way around. I just wanted to shout that out.
Absolutely. Yeah. And, I haven't talked much about the Learning Tree segments because, honestly, they've been hit or miss. Sure. But this week was a hit. You had Jericho versus Samoa Joe in the Stampede Street fight. And, it's one hell of a way to write Joe off TV while he goes to film season 2 of Twisted Metal. Jericho drives him through a makeshift wall in the back. The Stampede Street fight ends due to a referee stoppage. And Jericho, they're playing it up like the dude went insane. So as long as they spin this in a different direction and give it something, I'm down.
Yeah, it is true. It does look like they make it seem like he has lost his mind. I do wish that Joe could have been it could have looked like he was more in a worse predicament, because although they did their best in the camera angle, you could clearly see that everything was protected.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh man, I just wish it would have been something that they could have quickly went and, I don't know, pretend like, something was on top of his head or something, but nevertheless, they did it what they need to do. So yeah. Shout out to that. Let me go over to you, Rob. What you got for this past
It's hard to ignore everything Steve just put out there. Mariah May being swerving, Timeless Toni Storm, and don't forget, taking out Luther.
Put
him through a table.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that was a big deal. The kissing her at the end while Tony Storm is
Good
crying.
visual.
Oh my God, the crying that she put on, you got chills watching that. I have not been affected by a scene like that in anything WWE's done in a long time. Where you went, ooh, that was really great. I also want to say I liked watching Dalton Castle wrestle.
Mm-hmm.
That was a freaking great match that he had with the Outrunners. He lost the boys, so he gets the Outrunners, and you've got these two now. They were dressed up in Owen Hart colors. They're still doing all the gay antics, eating out of his hand. All of that was wonderful. It made for a really good match, and he controlled most of the match.
Mm-hmm.
He really did. I was thinking he was going to upset Roderick Strong.
Roddy.
We didn't get that, but we got a very good match. Jericho has taken this character. I don't like the crew he ended up with, but he made it work for him. Redwood made it work for him. And when he's just doing bye, he is brilliant. He is brilliant. We got on SmackDown the complete beatdown and annihilation of Cody Rhodes, tied up in the ropes. Randy Orton put through the table.
Mm-hmm.
I was expecting something like that to happen with the Bloodline. I was hoping that maybe we might see Hikuleo. Like, in other words, maybe Kevin Owens runs out there and he wasn't with his family after all, and then they up the ante and bring yet one other member to the Bloodline. But it was still very good.
Yeah.
They're still bringing the energy, they're bringing the violence, and they're going to really push.
I definitely I like what I'm seeing with Solo and the crew. But it is interesting because I was having a conversation with another gentleman who loves wrestling. He says his only problem with the Bloodline now is that they're all small, they're all short, and I looked at that like, okay, I mean, listen, and I think
Jacob Fatu is 6'2". I mean, he's not the biggest guy, but how big do you want him to be?
What happens is when you're around Randy Orton, it shows that of course Randy's taller, but that still doesn't mean that they're unable to handle and get the job done.
I can only wonder what he's going to say when they debut Tala Tonga, Hikuleo himself. And he's 7 feet tall.
Right. Yeah. I mean, look,
Yeah.
That's my thing is, when is Roman going to come back and you're going to bring this guy out there? There's an imbalance if you have, this new family versus whatever Roman can pull together, but that's to be discussed later on. This was a great, great, great week for AEW. Seeing Samoa Joe thrown through about an inch thick of sheetrock, fine, because you obviously were telling a story.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
we haven't had that. So this is freaking good. There's continuity. Now we're going to see who does Jericho face next. Exciting. I'm actually excited to see where Jericho takes his twisted character.
All right, Rob, appreciate that. One last thing I just want to shout out right quick. Also, I can't mention it was a shocker to me. That's Rhea Ripley. On Raw. I love that. I love seeing Dom just like,
shit himself.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
He sat in the middle of that ring and shit himself. All he did was twirl around. Like, oh shit. He didn't move. He doesn't move. Then he goes, Mommy.
You're in shock. Yeah, you're in shock when that happens. So anyway, let's get right to it. Let's see who needs the love. All right. I'll go with you first, Rob. Is there anybody that needs some love out there who's just not getting it?
The Latin World Order got smaller, or is it just me? Is it just two people now? Where's the rest of that crew? It's just Selena Vega and Rey Mysterio. All the rest of them are gone. You don't see them at all, okay? There is no Latin World Order. There's just Rey Mysterio's side piece. That's about all we've got there as far as that's concerned. The Kingdom. Is there anything wrong with War Dog? What's going on with him? Is there something? What is it? And again, I said this last week. I'll say it again. Adam Cole, baby. I'm a pansy ass, baby. My girlfriend's got more TV time than me, baby. It's story time, baby. Remember this guy who used to be a loudmouth and have good mic skills? He's gone, baby.
All right. Well, those are some good names right there, man. Just to go there. Let me go with you, Sin City, man. Anybody need some love out there?
Absolutely. And I just got to ask, where is the love for Willow Nightingale? There appear to be some things in the works, so I'm going to say that.
Yeah.
Just not in AEW. After Stephanie Vacour signed her deal with WWE, she left CMLL without dropping their women's championship. So Willow was in a three-way for their women's championship versus Viva Van and Yuvia yesterday, actually, as we're recording this. And Willow won the CMLL women's championship. I believe that actually makes her the first Black woman to hold a major Mexican wrestling promotion's women's championship.
What is she? I didn't know what she was. I thought she looks mixed. A Willow Nightingale.
Well, even if she is,
all right.
Come on now.
So obviously she was the inaugural New Japan Strong Women's Championship championship holder. She held the TBS title. Now with the CMLL Women's Championship, she's had a great last couple of years, but she's just getting started. And something tells me that she's going to be going over Statlander at Wembley to, blow off the feud. But if not, where's the love, man?
She's going to end up on SmackDown with Jade Cargill.
Oh shit!
Don't even put that into the fucking ether. Don't even put that into the fucking ether.
Oh, how you doing, girl? Hey, did you just get a concussion too? Yeah, girl.
Oh God. As much as it would, I wouldn't see WWE picking up Willow is what I'm saying. I could be wrong on that. They could pick up anybody.
As of now. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
She's another person that I would say she showed up on NXT, I would not be surprised, and that would be a good spot. Or
if she would show up anywhere, it would have to be NXT.
Here's the thing too, man, to keep in mind is obviously with her holding that championship, the Stephanie situation did rub certain people the wrong way with the way that she exited CMLL. So I don't believe that Willow is going to be going anywhere for quite some time, which is probably one of the reasons why CMLL put the title on her, because they knew that she had at least a couple of years left on her AEW deal.
So what you're saying is she's Mexican Alundra Blaze.
Jesus.
All righty. Well,
good point, John. I agree.
Yeah. Let's yes, and for those that don't know, John just put Willow would have gotten over great in NXT 2.0. So absolutely. Hey, let's get into the next one, and I'll give you a little bit more time because I'm sure there's definitely some WTFs. So let's see. All right, Sis City, I'll start with you. Any WTFs, man, this week?
All right, so Dynamite, as we all know, is the A show.
Yeah.
We all know why Collision was created, but it's become a 2-hour version of Rampage. There were several weeks when Collision first kicked off in the early going where Collision was actually my preferred weekly show in AEW.
Yeah.
But that seems like a lifetime ago. Rampage and Collision are now filled with squashes and mismatches. No wonder no one watches either of those shows. It's sad. What the fuck? Elsewhere, they did do something newsworthy on Collision this week, though. They actually had Christopher Daniels strip the Bang Bang Gang of the Trios titles. Yeah. Because Jay White is injured, won't be able to defend those titles, they chose to go that route instead of utilizing a modern-day Freebird rule and allowing Juice Robinson to kind of step in and defend those titles in his place. They announced that Juice and the Guns will face the Patriarchy in a future match to determine the new champions. These titles have been snake bitten since day one. If you remember, the Elite won them at All Out. And then we all know what happened after All Out, Brawl Out. Right. So they had to vacate those titles just a couple of days later and it's like as if they've been cursed right along with the TNT title.
Right.
So what the fuck?
Well, John Hobson's got a good one.
Yes. What the fuck did Tony Khan claiming at the World's End presser that he was going to be aggressively involved in signing female free agents, then dropped the ball with Stephanie Vaquer? Yeah, completely. And it's interesting that unfolded the way that it did. Obviously, fresh off the heels of Forbidden Door, she signs her WWE contract. And the rest is history. She made her debut in Mexico City against Isla Dawn in a non-televised event, but there are clips online.
Yeah.
It looks like they're going to allow her to use her package backbreaker that she's been using, which it is good as long as the other women can get up for the move and can help her with it, because it does have the potential to go sideways. But hopefully everything goes well. And Stephanie, after the match, mentioned that she would be going to NXT. So there's that. Elsewhere, we really are doing this Kyle O'Reilly Undisputed Kingdom shit again. Still, what the fuck? Thankfully, Tony Schiavone called it out on commentary as well on Collision. The shit went down 4 months ago. They're revisiting it now. I mean, they're trying to make the conglomeration a thing. I mean, I guess I'm okay with that aspect of it, as long as it gets me Mark Briscoe on my TV every week, which he has been a great addition to the show. Thank you to QT Marshall and thank you to Jen Pepperman for writing his shit, because it's been awesome. Since he's been given a mic and given time, it's been a great segment of the show every week.
Yeah.
Obviously, this whole thing's just leading to the Kyle O'Reilly heel turn, where presumably, to kind of tie it back to what you were saying earlier, Rob, I could see them using Kyle O'Reilly as a way to take out Wardlow and actually write him off TV before he jumps ship and he makes his way to WWE as well, where he'll be better utilized. Let's face it.
I'd rather see Wardlow versus Braun Breaker down the road.
That's going to happen, I'm sure. He'll have plenty of time when he's in that WWE system. But as far as AEW's usage of Wardlow, the shit with Kyle O'Reilly,
I gotta ask this though. So if Tony knows that getting rid of Wardlow would definitely more likely be a pickup for WWE, and what WWE would make of Wardlow, why he doesn't just like run with it, like be the one to take charge and give Wardlow I mean, he's had him for so long, but
the thing is, I always talked about Jade Cargill as much as I did. To the very last second that she was not in with AEW, she had match after match after match after match after match. She had one, match against Statlander to get her title back, lost it, and got the hell out of here. Wardlow is completely got dust on him. He's like an old Italian lady's couch. They won't take the
honestly, it should be. It should be at this point, honestly, because if it's a foregone conclusion that he's gone, you don't want to heat him up right before he goes to the competition.
Fair enough, but they never used him at any point.
Right, and that's a huge drop of the ball. That's a huge drop of the ball.
Yeah,
and saying that his character's only purpose was to get the belt to give it back to Adam Cole, which was a silly gimmick. An idiotic gimmick that you're using him right out of the gate. Like, this guy's not that stupid. He's been used in every faction he's been in.
So is that equivalent to Hogan back in NWO with that championship match with him and Nash, and
the finger poke of doom? But I mean, if they would actually have done it,
right.
I don't think that ever would have happened. I think that it would have led to a feud between Wardlow and Adam Cole. But as it is right now, there's no reason for Tony to heat up Wardlow, especially if his contract is about up, which I don't know the exact date, but I believe that he is almost done. He and Ricky Starks. That's another reason why you haven't seen Ricky Starks. Both of those guys are going to be going to WWE. And again, why heat them up right before they go? You'll have the exact same thing that happened with Stephanie Vaquer. She's her views on social media, the videos that WWE has posted have been each over 1 million views on all of those videos with her. So she's definitely got the buzz. And Tony, quite honestly, can't afford to heat those guys up and then send them packing over to the competition.
Makes sense. Okay. Did you have anything else, or I move over to Rob?
I'm good. Okay. I talked enough.
It's all good. Rob, what WTFs you found this week, man?
I got a few. We'll get my girl out of the way. Jade Cargill's been relegated to just cutting promos in the back fucking alleyways now because she's probably not great in the ring. Maybe she's a botch artist. Maybe she's sloppy. But all she's doing now is dressing up in her nice outfits and walking around with freaking Bianca Belair not doing anything, which drags Bianca Belair down because you're signing them as a tag team still. So this is an opportunity to make one of those two a heel and go, hey, hey, girl, I don't even need you. Like my song says, you ain't done nothing. You would want to lost that damn championship for us. And then, boom, split them up. Or do something, or throw her back in NXT, split them up, and then chuck her to NXT until she learns how to wrestle at that level.
Well, listen, I mean, we all know, I will believe that, and it probably won't be towards Mania, that they're going to be leading up for those two definitely having a feud, but maybe until that time, they're doing what they're doing, until
or you do a storyline, you do some long-term booking where you go, look, Bianca Belair is going to wrestle, you're going to be her enforcer for a while, and do it like that instead of just having them walk around, because you're wasting everyone's time dedicating 2 minutes to this woman who you're not going to use. And if she's not ready yet, then even I, with all my arrogance about her, will say, hey, you know what? You split them up and you have all of the girls in NXT go, there's nobody better than us. Boom. Jade Cargill comes out there, beats up people for a year. Then you bring her back to SmackDown.
Now, Rob, I'm going to tell you, this is back when you was just beginning to join with us. I was telling you all this time that Jade should have been in NXT, and you fought me going, no, too big of a star. Put her on
because and at the time,
now. You see now.
No, but here was the thing. If I'm going by the way they promoted her, they made her a larger than life deal. The people who go to NXT do not get the same level and hype that Paul Levesque, the Triple H, put behind her. He strapped a rocket to her. He did, because Lexi's King, they didn't do anything that big for him. Ethan Page, they didn't go that big for him. They did not give those people the same push that they gave her. So that, coupled with the fact that she was 60-1 in AEW, why wouldn't you want her on the main roster? Why would you want her wrestling with the kids? Okay. Am I going to believe the suspension of belief, the kayfabe, that she's going to have any difficulty fighting a Roxanne Perez? No, she should shit right through Roxanne Perez. When they did that TNA match and Jordynne Grace lost because there was outside interference for Jordynne Grace's belt, how stupid was that? Jordynne Grace's belt, not the NXT belt on the NXT show. We're going to fight and squabble over the TNA belt on NXT, and Jordynne Grace loses because of that bullshit. Fine. So if you're going to push Jade Cargill that hard and put her in NXT, you're out of your freaking mind. I stand by what I said back then. But then she bombed at freaking Royal Rumble. She took a bump to the ring post, was concussed, and could barely hit her spots. And I went, no. She was the Joe Biden of debates. So you're like, wait a minute. Joe Biden really did good at that freaking State of the Union. Remember when he was like, he's all jacked up. So that's what I was thinking of Jade Cargill. If I have to go by what you did in your past, great, fine. You put this hot chick. If you are not into the indies or AEW, and you see that Triple H is putting this model out there with rippling muscles, she must be something big. Then you put her out in front of your best women talent that everyone knows in your household. They know Charlotte Flair. They know Becky Lynch, and you paired her up with Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch on 2 vignettes. Well, shit, why am I going to throw her to NXT then?
All right, I got you. I got you. All right.
Fair enough. Now, real quick on the other two, Deonna Purrazzo, the fuck was that about? You're going to go back to freaking La Mera Mera again? We're doing this again? This woman is more than just a Venus de Milo. She's got skill in the ring. All right. And thankfully, with Toni Storm, when they had that feud, Toni Storm addressed her, oh, I'm so sorry they fat shamed you. Great. You hit that off on the front end that she's not the hottest bulb in the box. Great. Move on. She's great in the ring for a reason.
Yeah, absolutely.
And she showed her confidence. Why are you not using her?
Quick question. Did you happen to see the vignette promo that she had on AEW TV this week, Deanna?
No, in Collision. And that was
the backstage thing.
Yeah.
Well, not backstage, but where she was like drinking a glass of wine.
Yeah.
Like that was extremely well done. But yeah, I don't know why they're going
But
back.
they're not booking her with anybody. See, here's the thing. AEW women have a secondary belt where WWE doesn't.
Right.
Yet. Yes. And well, they kind of do with it with NXT.
That's something they're going to be creating.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and I know you guys go, hey, Rob, get the hell out of here with more belts. If TNA can afford a women tag team belt, you got to find something for these women to do besides just be spot fillers. Okay. You've got Sky Blue now transitioning back to a face. She's no longer demonic. They use the Stampede thing to put her on in a white leather gear, but she's kind of bitchy. So we don't know what to do. These women are without a rudder. You throw Nyla Rose back in it, and they can't even pronounce her freaking name right. They called her Nayla Rose. I mean, and then they kept saying it. They're like, Nayla. I'm like, what are you fucking doing? This is your second champion.
Yeah.
I mean, Christ's sakes, what the fuck?
No doubt, man. Good stuff, man. Man, you guys let it all out. Woo. All right.
I let it all out like Nayla Rose at a buffet.
Oh boy.
Oh God.
Let me just hit the button. All right, so we got to be excited, looking out for something. I know we got Wembley, we got SummerSlam, we got so much other, but I'm sure things are going to happen before then. So what are we excited for? I go to you first, Rob. What are you looking out for?
Jericho.
Mm-hmm.
He's really upping his ante. I was actually getting annoyed because he does too many of these different wonky characters, but then he always makes you always really you get your faith back in him. He always earns your faith back. The Wizard, Ocho, the little bit of the blah, blah. Every time you're like, oh, okay, you did a good job. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Mr. Irvine. Bloodline. Christ. Every time I get up, they keep pulling me back in. I want to see the Bloodline interfere on a match with Cody Rhodes. I want to see them at SummerSlam beat the shit out of Cody Rhodes. And then I want to see Paul Heyman come out with the reinforcements, with The Rock, with Roman Reigns, with the Usos. I want to see just a swarm of Samoan people running out there, with the Usos. People's like, just going out there and just fucking. I want this to be like a hurricane through the South Pacific.
Rob, how is that one more time?
No.
I will tell you this. It would be nice if Roman Reigns would in some way put something on his social media to let us know that he is watching.
This is my thing. I'm going to jump in real quick on this. Yeah. I'm not a social media person, which has fucked me out of a couple of comedy shows. So I guess you don't answer your social media, Rob. But they would, my buddy, one of my buddies in up North Vegas would always say, "Did you see all the AEW stuff and the TNA stuff that the Good Brothers did?" And I'm like, "What?" Well, didn't you see, To Be Elite and all that? And I'm like, no, I'm not going to watch shows about shows about shows. Okay, do it in the ring. That's it. So I want this dude to be quiet, radio silence. I want no knowledge from any of you that he's going to show up. I want him to just show up. No reveals, no setup. Remember what we said earlier? This is what really screwed over Jade Cargill. You did all this preamble, and then you get the final product and it's crapola. Now we know that's not going to be the case with Roman Reigns, but I don't want to find out, You see a picture of him like, lifting a weight or some nonsense or none of that. Or him, you just see his neck with the lei, with that red chili pepper lei shit they have. I don't want to see any of that. Okay.
All right, whatever. God dang, Rob, you're so okay.
I've had a freaking rough weekend, buddy, as you well know.
By the way, John says be on the lookout for additional Wyatt 6 VHS videos. They're teasing a video dropping tomorrow with Eric Rowan. This can get real emotional real quick if other members are cutting vignettes from the Firefly Funhouse.
Oh, yeah, so good.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, let me go. Sin City, man. What are you looking out for?
All right, man. The build continues for All In. Swerve Danielson, Storm, Mariah are both locked in. And presumably, we're going to have Mercedes Moné and Britt Baker. And then Will Ospreay versus MJF. Yeah, that's a very solid. Yeah.
I was about to no, okay.
But
I was about to say, why are they doing that match? It seemed like that should be a bigger match for a bigger stage, like All In or something for Ospreay.
So
and MJF.
So that's, keep in mind this week's match on Dynamite 250. Yes, it's a stacked show. The main reason why they're doing it, and actually, I was gonna make mention of Dynamite 250. Okay. But that match for the international title is going to kick off the show. It really wouldn't surprise me to see the title change there. It really wouldn't. If they put that title on MJF, because one thing that you could do is you could even play ping pong with that title.
Rubber match.
Have MJF take that title on Dynamite 250, and then you pull the trigger on putting the title back on Will Ospreay at All In. That way he gets a championship victory in London, but it's not the world championship. Obviously, a lot of us assumed that it was going to be that way and he was going to get the world championship. Not the case.
Yeah.
So if you're going to use him in any way, he needs to be winning a championship or winning a major match of consequence at All In.
I agree. I was telling him earlier, he goes, why did they make MJF a heel so fast? I'm like, look, he's a crappy babyface. It took him a long time to be a good babyface, and he started falling off and losing interest. He had to pair up with Adam Cole to be a believable babyface, and they played it well because remember, they're on the boat with Adam Cole, and he goes, were you going to hit me in the back of the head with the Dynamite Diamond Ring? No, broski. So it was still he was still showing that he was trying.
My whole point with telling you that though was just, I'm used to most of us who've watched WWE is familiar with the long storytelling.
Yeah.
And this wasn't the case with MJF. It was just like, oh wow, we all know he's gonna go back heel, but damn, that fast? I was like, okay. It was
like this. Let me use this guy as an example. At any point in his career, both of these men, especially WrestleMania 17, would you ever call The Rock or Stone Cold a heel and or a babyface? They were always somewhere in the middle. They were themselves.
Shades of gray.
There was always a shade of gray there. I never once thought for 1 second that The Rock didn't think he came first or that Stone Cold didn't think he came first. Stone Cold took over all of those, the WCW, ECW crew and screwed over the, WWE roster when he was supposed to lead them in 2001. Overnight, you liked him all over again when he started going, what? My watch tried to tell me something, what? And that was supposed to be scary. That was supposed to be this guy's unhinged to another level. And what it become? One of the most biggest chanted things ever. He became likable in your household again. He's supposed to be the heel. He said Jim Ross on, hey, we're not friends anymore? You don't like me? And you're like, oh Christ, but I love him. I love him now more than ever. Same with The Rock. How did we all get exposed to The Rock, not Rocky Maivia, when he screwed over the nation? That's the first time I ever saw him when he goes, and they're beating the crap out of it. And I'm like, whoa, I like this guy. Freaking MJF cannot be a syrupy guy. I'm your scumbag. He was not confident being that guy in the ring. Watch those promos he cut near the end. He was not confident. That's why he always said, I'm your scumbag, because he had no edge left to him. They took the teeth out of him.
Right.
But couldn't do you think?
I think that ultimately there's a secondary reasoning why they're loading up Dynamite 250, and then the week after is Blood and Guts. So they're going to have the 2-ring cage enclosure, the Elite versus Team AEW. They are in the, as Tony Khan stated, they are in the red zone on their TV rights negotiations deal. So realistically, they're going to do everything they can to try to pop as many ratings as they can and show audience growth over the next month, because we're about ready to have the announcement of the TV rights deal and just how much money they are going to be getting from WBD. So that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to pop ratings so that they can get more money. And that's why you're seeing Ospreay versus MJF. That's why you're seeing Swerve versus Okada, non-title. And then you've got Mercedes throwing out an open challenge, which it just happens to be Nyla Rose, I guess. Whatever.
Nyla, the native.
That's what they told us on TV this week.
I know.
Nyla.
But you can't have Collision then be this clusterfuck of random bookings. You know, they got the British Bulldog's son, and then just like that, you want to be in the Don Callis family. Well, you never set this kid up. So, you know, you got to be careful. They got to get away from the random bookings.
I agree. I agree completely.
Got to 86 that shit. If I haven't seen this guy and you haven't told me who he is, and enough with the jobbers. You go to this local city. Jobbers don't get a fucking spot on main TV time. Bullshit.
They shouldn't.
TNA
I completely agree.
Maybe one match out of the entire 4. Remember, for the guys who don't know better, TNA records their entire month's worth of programming in 2 nights. Yeah. And out of those 2 nights, there's only going to be, out of 4 total hours or 8 total hours, there's only going to be 1 local person jobbing. They came here. They did Sandra Moon. Everyone loves Sandra Moon in Vegas. She got her ass kicked by Masha Slamovich. It was just wedged in the middle of bigger matches.
Yep.
That's it. But not 4 matches.
No
not
shit.
Freaking 2-hour show or jobbers.
Right.
All right.
Yeah. Squash matches they definitely, you know, they are something that they're needed. Long story short, without trying to sugarcoat it, you need to have job matches, squash matches. Yeah. But like you said, it can't take up half your show, or as we've seen over the last couple of months, the entirety of Rampage and Collision. Yeah. So completely agreed. Also, yeah, I'm looking forward to All Out in Chicago, as I'm going to be making the trip there. So I want to see a good show. So whatever happens in the fallout from All In, yeah. We'll see what happens on that front.
And I have one quick point. You guys didn't discuss the lawsuit going on. Tony Khan suing Triple H for taking the name Speed.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Oh,
they love being petty as shit.
Man, I'm the original guy who loves taking bumps. Speed was my idea.
Right.
Awesome.
All right, let's see what best of show we got for this week from you. I mean, not a lot of WWE talk from either one of you two, but I will say NXT has definitely been a fun programming for me, as I've been, like I say, keeping up a lot more to everything that's just been going on.
I believe in Joe Hendry.
You missed it. You missed it. And obviously, for those folks that were not fortunate enough to be here before the show, yeah, I definitely was treated to an impromptu karaoke performance of that song by DJ Impact. And it was, wow, chef's kiss.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, you
London and Scotland and Tokyo.
Yeah, you know what? I saw, it was so funny. I did see the new shirt that they have over on what's the pro wrestling tees, I guess. And for Joe Hendry, and I was like, And I don't think I've ever bought a wrestling shirt from pro wrestling teams. All mine's always come from WWE, I believe, in most cases. But I was looking at that and like, I might have to get that Joe Hendry. But one thing,
at least, huh? Is he on the NXT roster?
Well, I don't believe he's on a roster, but he showed up.
Somebody told me he was.
He's still on TNA. He's still part of TNA.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. While a lot of people are becoming familiar with Joe Hendry, I at least would like to finally have a moment where I can say, man, I knew about this guy first, so it's just great now to see that he's finally getting some love out there. Because I used to go to TNA going, why is it this guy on WWE? Because it was always the gimmick. I just go, it's so fun. It's the same equivalent of the, it's just, you just want to be a part of that. I'm ready to just clap my hands, I don't know. Joe Hendry. But NXT,
Yes, he is. He's on the roster. NXT roster lists Joe Hendry.
Oh, is he? Okay.
He's at the very bottom of the roster. Joaquin Wilde, Joe Coffey, Joe Hendry is officially NXT.
Interesting. So can he have a shirt on Pro Wrestling Teams and WWE? Are they going? Oh, he can? Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure that they just put him on the roster page because of the talent exchange.
Yeah.
So,
and by the way, if you haven't been watching TNA, there has been WWE NXT stars going over there as well.
Charlie Dempsey just went over there and had a match.
Yep, had a match, won that. And then I'm sorry, I'm familiar with her name, not too familiar, but it's Izzy. Izzy, she was on NXT.
Mm-hmm.
Izzy Dame?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep, she had a match there as well. So and the show was recorded in Philly, and we all know Philly's a great crowd. It was just as much as we heard the TNA chants over on NXT programming, we heard the NXT chants also on TNA programming. So it's kind of cool. I'm glad. It's so funny because back in the day, that would be things we used to ask. And you know what? I gotta be. Let's just be real. I'm glad it's happening, but I'm pretty sure. Forbidden Door was something that, said, okay, maybe we can do this.
Kind of pushed it along.
You know what I mean? Because there used to be times I would say that,
absolutely.
and Michaels would be like, well, why would they do that? Well, I would give that company more of the curb. And I would go, but it's just so fun. Like, why not? And it's just amazing to see that. And we know why WWE's doing it. They're doing a good job. But if it wasn't for a Forbidden Door to see that we're able to do it, I don't think we would have what we have. So I got to give that credit out.
Thank you, man. Holy shit. You're saying that you're watching AEW and you're giving them credit for Forbidden Door? Oh my God.
I'm going to scratch this video once it's over.
Bro, we're gonna have you watching all 3 AEW shows in about 2 months. Don't worry.
It seems like
right before, obviously in the build up to All In, you'll be watching all 3 shows.
Yeah.
Hold on. You know what I also see? They got Wentz on here from TNA from the Rascals, and he's doing his Rascals gimmick in his NXT profile picture.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
they
really
have it
cool.
listed as Zachary Wentz / Nash Carter. They got both of his names there.
Okay.
I'm gonna go over to Houston City. What was best in show for you this week?
As if there was any doubt, AEW Dynamite. It was an unofficial Owen Hart tribute episode as well. In addition to the the finals of the Owen Hart tournaments, many wrestlers wore the Owen Hart inspired gear. Willow Nightingale wore the Nation of Domination era Owen Hart caution tape gear, which was pretty cool to see. Mariah May, Bryan Danielson, all these guys and gals wearing the stuff to pay tribute to Owen Hart, and even the finish in the Mariah Willow match was the victory roll, which is what Owen used to pin Brett at WrestleMania 10.
That's right.
Odd to that. So that's really cool. From the start of the show with the Ospreay and MJF promo back and forth. To the final scene of Toni Storm with the Crimson Mask spitting blood out of her mouth. It was another great episode of Dynamite. I mean, they've been on a roll for about the past month. Now, granted, there have been times where Dynamite has been shit, and I've dreaded coming on this show, to be 100% honest.
Sure.
Because Matt Michaels is going to freaking impale you.
But they're hitting a stride, and whatever changes that they've made creatively are starting to show. Let's just hope this shit continues.
Yeah. I agree. Let me go over to you, Rob. What was the show for
What
you?
he said.
What he said.
No, Dynamite. Dynamite. I'm liking what they're doing with Jericho. Like I said, long-term storytelling is paying off. Getting MJF back to his roots, paying off. We all got that there. They kind of dropped the ball pushing Danielson winning, but what got me choked up was Jeff Jarrett. Jeff Jarrett being a serious guy. Jeff Jarrett, the way they've been booking him lately, freaking great.
Yeah.
And here's the thing now, and maybe I'm wrong, but it looks like you're seeing a little bit of spillover from Dynamite stuff and discussions into Rampage and Collision. So we're being reminded, hey, by the way, you're enjoying Rampage and Collision. This is what happened on Dynamite. We need to get back to having those conversations and carrying those storylines throughout the week. The Samoa Joe match was great. Everything was good. They just went and elevated that ending.
Did you hear that? Or is that just me?
I heard it.
That's karma. That's karma. You're talking shit about Michaels and his internet connection at the start of the show, and then you go and get garbled at the end of the show.
I got garbled?
Yeah, you didn't hear it, but we heard it. It was like a mic kind of like an internet type. I don't know, but yeah, it got kind of weird.
Well, let me tell you something.
Oh man,
you know what I'm saying?
It's funny, but that's yeah, no doubt. Thanks, Joe, for checking in with us. We're doing this pretty much every Sunday. If I'm glad you stumbled on us, tell others about us, and yeah, we'd like to have a lot of fun, and definitely throw your comments in there as well. We're getting close pretty much to the end of the show. I did wanted to ask one question about so this was just so we know the issues that Dynamite has been having in terms of losing a lot of its viewers. At the same time, it's beginning to now put strong storylines together. The question I'm just wanted to ask, is it too late? It's for either one of you. It's not. Okay.
No, absolutely not. The key thing to keep in mind with all of this is if we want to go down this path of losing viewers, let's call it what it is. WWE has lost millions of viewers over years. We just don't know it. We don't notice it because they are undisputed the worldwide leader, as they've said for years, but it holds true. They are head and shoulders above every other wrestling promotion in the world. But at the end of the day, as long as Warner Brothers Discovery is happy with the product that they're putting out, and they're not alarmed or scared or worried or whatever, and as long as those those TV rights deals they work out as they should,
right?
Nothing that the IWC says will have a damn bit of an impact on anything.
Gotcha.
The internet wrestling community is extremely tribalistic. They're extremely polarizing. We all know that shit.
Right.
And all that you can do is just laugh at it half the time. That's it.
Yeah. I got you. All right. Well,
they're going to be fine. They're going to be fine. They just need to get back to their roots and make Dynamite the flagship. You're not going to get rid of the other two shows, but you have to just carry the stories over. And with the return of FTR on Collision,
absolutely,
you have a chance now to have FTR be the anchors of that show and bring prominence to it. They clean themselves up. They immediately established their worth. And because Don Callis and his family ran across all the shows this week, that carryover is what's been missing. That carryover and that continuity across 1 week, which is what SmackDown and Raw do not have. So if you can have Don Callis show up on Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, great.
Yeah.
And have people for him to bully on all three shows, excellent.
Yeah. Well, and Exciting times, folks. As always, when we talk about what's happening in the world of pro wrestling, it's a lot going on, and it's so hard to keep up on that. It is just like we talk about. It's every day there's something new to try to keep up with, So,
And that's a problem.
well, when you work constantly, it is.
I'm well aware.
I got to pick.
I mean, not everybody. I get it, man. You couldn't watch and keep up to date with every wrestling product on the planet while you were on your month-long cruise. I get it. I understand. I know, but make an effort.
No more month-long cruise. I wish. I need a month-long cruise, man.
Did you at least smuggle the white fuzzy slippers across the border?
I do bring them with me.
All right.
Look at this. They got Trey Miguel on NXT too, and they have the entire all 4 members of the Rascal listed as NXT.
There you go.
Look at that.
Hell yeah.
Look what you're learning right now, Rob. Stay on the computer.
I've been reading the NXT roster page.
Dayton, Ohio represent the Rascals.
Gotta love it. Got Wentz, Myron Reed, Wesley, and they have their NXT.
Another reason why I was excited for NXT. I mean, it was shocked to to see. I was like, for real?
Well, wait a minute. Does that mean in any capacity that maybe they bought a TNA?
No,
that's been something I've wondered for a while. But
you would not have these guys listed under their regular their TNA ring names, because that was a big deal when
trademarking.
Yeah, I mean, what was her name? A Hardcore Country, when
Mickie James.
When Mickie James was going to go to WrestleMania 2 years ago, they said, "Oh no, she's going to come out to her WWE music." They said, "Nope, bye, we don't want it. You're going to give her the TNA theme, nothing else." And so I'm wondering now, because WWE is really anal retentive about interchangeable names on characters, on wrestlers.
Can that information be known if that was really the case? I mean, you think they could keep something like that under wraps?
I don't know. It's just odd that they would mention a TNA tag team only, because when the Rascals left Trey Miguel behind, they went over and became a completely different team, completely different personas. Yeah. They're acknowledging that Trey Miguel is at NXT. I don't even recall ever seeing him in NXT until this week.
Right, that's true.
And they hugged Wesley in the ring, and they did the whole thing. So
right.
This is something big.
Exactly.
And they've got Myron Reed listed. You barely have ever seen Myron Reed. So to me, that's like a big deal.
Yeah,
absolutely.
All right. Well, everyone, thank you for hanging out. We really appreciate you. And we won't have a 3 count this week. We may be, over time be thinking about how we're going to revamp some of the shows and all that, but we'll still be here nonetheless. And we always appreciate you when you hang out. I will be around at least for the next 4-5 weeks or so. So
don't you dare make promises you can't keep.
Yeah, I know. You're gonna find a way to sneak on another cruise.
Stop it.
Viking presents the Philly Cheesesteak Cruise Experience. Go up the Potomac with unlimited Philly cheesesteaks and all of the cheese sauces that you can handle. This is a cruise meant for an American king.
Fuck that. It's meant for me. I'll sign up for that shit.
Right.
Eat like Donald Trump.
Oh, Jesus. All right. No doubt. All right. Joe said he's from Philly. All right. Shout out to Joe and shout out to Philly. Like I say, TNA was out in Philly and it was an awesome show. Just catching up with that. So, hey, these are final thoughts for the week. I just want to tell everyone again, thanks. We appreciate you. Thanks for hanging out. And let's just do the best we can to love, respect, and take care of one another. I'll leave you with that. Sin City Steve, final thoughts.
All right. Thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing, doing all the stuff that you guys do. We appreciate each and every one of you. Also, very special shout out and thank you to all the brave men and women serving this country, whether you're doing it on lands, foreign or domestic. Thank you for doing what you do so that we can do what we love to do. Last but not least, repsports.com, reppsports.com. Go there for all your pre-workout, weight loss, general energy needs. Again, that's repsports.com. Use promo code Vegas at checkout and save yourself 15%.
Totally slipping on my graphic. Oh,
boom.
Now I got it. All right. Rob, final thoughts, man. Where are you going to be this week? Let us know.
Trepidatiously, with great fear, I'm supposed to be at New Wood Dispensary on Friday, about 8 o'clock show. And God willing, and I'm going to put those energies out there, Dirty at 12:30, hosted by Gabe Lopez. I am sincerely nervous about getting on a stage and making Trump jokes. But I'm going to be on the stage, and guess what? I'm invincible. Invincible, okay? So
you can do it, but I'm assuming as a comic, and I could be wrong because I'm not a comic, but you just have to somehow rewrite your material so that it kind of.
I will also be at Wise Guys on Tuesday, and we're gonna use that one to gauge where the lines are.
Oh, okay.
If I walk into it's a comedy club that is open mic. If I walk down the street in a Trump costume and get mugged and the shit kicked out of me, then we know this might not be a good idea.
Right.
But we make jokes about him and Obama and all of the guys and Biden. So
yeah, and I mean, you know what? Listen, you can always do a disclaimer before, just in case.
I am an
trigger
equal
somebody.
opportunity hater.
You say
Okay?
what?
I'm an equal opportunity hater.
Oh, there you go. Oh man, well, hey, if you're in Vegas, come check my man out. It's always good to support local talent, local comedians. We got to. In fact, I often said, I promise you, Rob, one day I'm just going to surprise you and show up to one of them. So, I just got to get the right time to do that. But guys, if you're in the Vegas area, please, hey, follow my man here. You see him at Boss Comedy, and you can get all the dates there.
What
okay?
I'll have to do is get booked on a cruise ship, and then you'll get to see my show.
Get out of here. Anyway, with that,
I ask him that every time I see him.
yeah, pretty much. Until then, take care. We'll see you next week, y'all. Peace.